Yeah. Originally being from Michigan, I had dirt bikes as a kid growing up
Mm.
and worked on my own bikes. My dad made me. He's like, you're out in the woods and your bike breaks down. What are you going to do? Just walk away from it and come get somebody? He's like, see if you can fix it.
And that's where it
And
started.
yep. And the key thing that my dad always taught me, something would go wrong with my bike. And I said, it's not doing this now. He's like, what'd you do to it last? He wasn't looking to place blame. He was looking to see where to possibly start, where the problem might be.
Mm.
And it could be something as random as somebody comes in, my bike won't start now. Okay, well, let's do bike won't start. Will it not power up? Nope, it powers up. Okay. We've had people say my bike won't start. And you turn the key on or you hit the key fob and there's no power. Well, there's no power. Yeah, it won't start. Well, that's a little different. We
Yeah.
we can start at the battery there as
Yeah.
opposed to the starter. Um, so then you'll get no power, crank, no start, no crank, and then you'll get, like I said, crank, no start, which now we've really eliminated a lot of items from it. And people can do this. I've gone down the road and being the type of person I am, not necessarily the job, I'll see a motorcyclist over to the side of the road. I've done it numerous times. One instance, I was going down Houghton, heading to my old house. Guy sitting on the side of the road, and I see him doing this, looking around his bike, and I was like, I wonder if everything's all right. So I quick pulled over, and I walked up from a distance, told him who I was, where I worked, so he didn't feel threatened.
Yeah. It's like
And
this guy's gonna steal my bike.
yeah, he's gonna roll me for my bike. I was like, so what happened? He says, I don't know. I was riding along, and it just quit running. I was like, all right, can I ask you what you did last? And he says, I put gas in it. I was all right. Where did you get gas at? Because he could have gotten bad gas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, he's like, oh, such and such. I, being from the area, knew that it was a reputable place. I was like, so you were riding along and it just shut down. I was like, did the lights go up? He says, no. He says, just the motor quit. I said, all of a sudden. He says, yes. I was like, can I try to start it for you? He's like, well, I got my buddy coming here, but sure. So I walked over, I turned the key on, and I didn't hear a fuel pump, and I didn't hear any relays go off. And I
Gosh,
looked
see, that's
over,
crazy.
he had accidentally hit his kill switch, didn't even know it, and stopped the bike.
Uh,
I flipped the kill switch down, hit the start button, and it started right up. What'd you do? I was like, you accidentally hit your kill switch. Well, I feel like an idiot. I was like, well, be that as it may, it still runs. Call your buddy, tell him to cancel the truck and the trailer, and go ahead and finish on it. He's like, thank you so much. He's actually been into the shop a couple of times just to thank me again, so he wasn't stranded at dark.
that is awesome, dude. That is awesome. Like that, and I try to equate it to my firefighting stuff, but it's just like we'd get calls like that too. You know, it's
Yep.
like something happened, like please come help me, and then it's like, well, this is the small problem, and you fix it. And I'm sure you're having the same feeling of I'm glad it was the kill switch, and not something major where you're on the side of the road hurt, or you
Or
have
dark,
massive, or
and
yeah,
and you got no power, so you can't turn any lights on to let people know you're there. And had another incident. I was actually driving one of our slingshots and seen a Harley bagger sitting off. Now, I'll be right honest with you. I don't know a whole lot about Harleys. My number one source of information left the shop, and he now works for the post office. Um, I pulled over. I said, maybe there's something I can do. Maybe I can even give him a ride, someplace. So I pulled over and I walked up to him, and he is the president of, I can't think of the name, but now it has something to do with child abuse.
okay,
Or
so
no, Abate.
okay, yeah, 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 yeah.
He's the president of Abate, and he says my transmission went. And I says, really? I was like, how
Hmm.
do you know it was your transmission? He's like, well, I was going along, I heard a big bang, and then I could rev the motor, but nothing happened. I'm like, oh, okay. And I had my work shirt there, and I have my flashlight, so I grabbed my flashlight out. For whatever reason, I went and I looked at the back. He literally broke the belt off of his bike, his drive belt.
Oh my gosh.
And I says, well, you're not going to go anywhere without a drive belt. Are you kidding me? And he walked around. He said, I got one of those. That'll only take me 20 minutes as opposed to changing my transmission, which will take
Yeah.
me all day.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, I'm sure they would find that, but it solves for me, it solves a head problem. Like my
Yeah.
problem, like I'm thinking, it's like I'm
What
stressed.
is,
Yeah,
yeah,
you just solved it. And that's huge. That's huge when it comes to like me, and I'm
just
pretty sure anybody else.
just stopping to see if there's something you can do, you
Yeah,
know, and maybe they took a bug in their eye or something like that, and they can't see,
yeah,
and they're in a panic.
yeah,
Just having somebody there to, if anything, look out for them if they are working on their bike, stand there and be a visual deterrent for people to come too close to people.
yeah. And I'm sure these both those riders, they would have figured, like I said, figured it out if they kind of relax and then look through every little thing. But from an outside perspective, and you're like, okay, it's not my emergency. I can see it clearly, and I'm looking to do my own, I guess, T clocks or your version of mechanics T clocks, and just, okay, here, boom, no belt or engine shut off switch,
Yep.
and that's crazy. Like that will definitely help some people. I mean, if they would just kind of step back and look, okay, now let's go through the process. And one thing that I like what you said was that you listened. You asked these specific questions. Okay, what did you hear? Okay, when I start the engine, I don't hear the pump starting, or this, or I do hear the pump. That right there, I had no clue. Like if
Mm-hmm.
start the bike, I turn it on, and I wouldn't even know like what the noises are. I
Mm-hmm.
just know that it's starting up. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really cool. I need to learn all that stuff. Or we can just have you on again and tell us more stories, because I love it. I love the stories.
Yeah.
That
No,
helps
that's
out.
fine. Um,
Absolutely love it.
that's kind of the nice thing about our shop. Most shops you go to, you never even get to see the guy that works on your bike. Um, I get yelled at a lot because I spend too much time with customers sometimes, and I should spend more at my lift. But when I spend 5 minutes with a customer, I usually keep that customer for the lifetime of their bike through us.
Yeah.
Um, I won't quote times, I won't quote rates. Uh, I will give you my opinions and what's the word I'm looking for? My decision. Um, there's no reason to guess and BS people into believing stuff.
Yeah.
I can show you in paper. I can show you I've done it this way 25 times. It works every time.
Hmm. And then you're
Um,
also finding new things too. So I mean,
yes, always.
so you're just building that foundation consistently.
Yep.
Now you have like this massive foundation. It just keeps rising. That's all it is. At the end of the day, it's like just keep adding to your foundation. There's no really anything crazy.